Hello, my friends. It has been a long time since I've made a video, and we have a sunny day today. Nice reprieve from all the rain we've had this autumn. And I just got finished working on my flashing of my porch roof. I don't know if you remember my video way back at the beginning of summer as I was working on the porch. Well, I just finished it today. That's really pitiful. A friend came over to help me and just had a bit of flashing. I didn't really know how to do the flashing around the window casements. And after he left, we're finished, I thought, I'm going to enjoy this day. I'm going to just sit and enjoy the sun, my front porch, light a pipe. I haven't had a pipe in a while. I'm smoking a JD Silver pipe I made a while back at an oak. Decided to keep it. It's not the best pipe I've ever made, so I'm just going to keep it for myself. I got a new lighter recently. It's pipe style with the hole through the windscreen or whatever you call it. And I'm smoking Smoker's Pride Vanilla Cavendish. I love Cavendish. I love all the smoke you get from Cavendish, carrying the flavor. I'm using my tobacco tray made by my friend Ryan. He has a company called Sydenham Laser Designs, I think. He has this amazing laser cutter engraver. And I asked him if he could make these tobacco trays and maybe put people's logos on them and stuff. So if you're interested in a tobacco tray, let me know and I'll get you hooked up with Ryan. You can put your logo on it. Maybe you want to sell them on your store or something like that. So what do I have to talk about today? Not a lot. But I thought I'd give it a go. And just, kind of summarize what's been going on in my life for the last little while. I guess if I work backwards, the most significant news is that last week my father fell and was all alone in his office. He fell kind of between his chairs, and my mom didn't know he was there. He lay there for an hour and couldn't get up. And this is not like my dad. My dad he's a plumber, big, strong man. Lately, he's just been getting thinner and thinner, weaker and weaker, and a little bit forgetful, absent. Something was weird. So I took him to emergency. And the way hospitals work in Canada is that there's a triage nurse, and if your issue doesn't seem that important, then you don't get put at the front of the line. And unfortunately, there were like 4 or 5 ambulances that came in with some very serious things while we were there. And so we ended up waiting 12 hours in emergency. My poor dad, he was very patient. When we finally saw the doctor, I thought he was just going to say, well, your dad's getting old, it's no big thing. But he suspects my dad has Parkinson's disease. He's kind of got a bit of a blank stare, kind of shuffles. The Parkinson shuffle, they call it. He's got a bit of shaking in his hands, lack of motor control in his fingers. It's just all come on him so quickly. Really noticed it sort of when COVID started, just a little after COVID. My mom and dad chose not to be vaccinated, so they can't blame it on the vaccine or anything. I see that I'm sliding down a little bit in the screen. So that's upsetting. My dad's concerned about that. Now, since that day, he seems to have rallied and seems to be doing better. So maybe it was, maybe there was some effect. He was also sick at the time. Had a cough. Maybe he had a virus that kind of exaggerated the effect. We don't know. Well, we're going to keep an eye on him, and hopefully we can get into a specialist soon. It's a long wait to see a specialist here. And I think his family doctor will be able to prescribe him some of the medications. What happens with Parkinson's is your body stops producing dopamine, and dopamine is one of the major signal carriers in your body that tells you things like, gives you satisfaction for doing things like eating. So you feel like eating, or you feel like drinking, or you're taking care of yourself. And the part of the brain that produces that dies. My dad grew up on a farm, and one of the culprits for this part of your brain dying seems to be if you're exposed to herbicides, which he was a lot as a kid. And then also heavy metals. Well, he was a plumber, so he dealt with lead and stuff all the time, especially in the old days when lead pipe was more common. And then solvents. My dad used ABS solvent cement for the ABS sewage pipe. So not surprising, but sure unfortunate. So that's a big thing in my life. That's just recent. It was kind of it was upsetting. I am 53 or 4. I'm coming up to 54. And my dad is like 77, 76 or 77. And there were times when I was sort of helping him with getting his zipper down and up and doing up his button on his pants and stuff. And to be in that position where I'm the caregiver, I'm like the parent to my dad. It's like a trope we hear all the time. It's a stereotype, or it's like a common thing. But once you're in it, it's like everything else. How fast time passes. People tell you that forever, and then you realize you're suddenly 50-something, and your kids are moving out, and life is brief. And then you're looking after your parents, and then you're being looked after by your kids, I guess. So that's what's been on my mind. It's sombering. And it's not all bad news. Last weekend, my oldest son, Lucas, had an engagement party with his fiancée. And she has something like 15 brothers and sisters. So a good portion of them and their significant others and some of their children were here on Sunday after church. That was fun. Just getting to know them. They're Cambodian, and so some of them didn't speak English really well, and it was just an adventure. Lots of delicious Cambodian food. I know if you like sort of that East Asian food, like Vietnamese or Thai food, Cambodian food. But, I've heard that Vietnamese food specifically isn't really popular in the U.S. I guess because of the Vietnam War. I don't know. But we like that kind of food, so it was nice. It was a potluck, and everybody brought food. And that's exciting. It's exciting that my oldest is getting married. I'm looking forward to being a grandparent. I can't wait. What else is new in my life? I'm afraid this wind is going to take my camera flying. My Philippians album is complete. Some of you have been watching my channel for a while. Were with me when I used to drive into the studio on Thursdays and Fridays to record it. It's all done. I'm going to release it in January of next year, 2023. I've hired an artist to do the album cover. So I'm going back and forth with them over that right now. I'm trying to get it to look like the 80s, kind of a Stranger Thing feel. That's Stranger Things. That's the style of the music, very 80s synth pop. I don't know, I just felt like that was what I wanted to do, and it's fun, it's unusual, and nostalgic, being a child of the 80s myself. And I've met the producer for my next album, which is the Book of Galatians. So this one was Philippians, the one I just finished. The album is called Hey Philippi, and it's word for word Paul's letter to the Philippians, the church in Philippi. And word for word, the NIV I think I used for Philippians. And the next one is for Galatians. And I think I've decided to do it in a Celtic music style. It's a little risky changing your genre so much from one album to the next, but oh well. You see, the Galatians are known, they were the Gauls. And the Gauls, that's just another way of saying the Celts. So I decided it'd be cool to kind of do it with that kind of Celtic style, Celtic music style. I want it to still be a little edgy. I want to push the envelope a little bit, not just like, the typical Celtic music that we think of, but something that's exciting and groundbreaking, innovative. So the guy that is, I think, where my son and his fiance are getting married. They have a big farm, and he has a studio. He's a producer slash musician himself. And we've been actually friends since about 1999. We just reconnected for the first time in 20 years or more. And time flies. 29? No, it wouldn't be 20 years. Would it be? Anyway, who cares? We just reconnected. And he said he'd love to help me with my next album. So looks like that's where I'll be doing it. I think it's fun. Another thing that's new for me is that I've started doing an extra video on my main channel, my Jason Silver channel, where I record myself playing all the instruments for a song I've written. So I kind of record it all in the studio, with my studio, but I set up the camera and record me playing each of the instruments. And then I mix it all down, so, you know, when the drums come in, the camera switches to me on the drums, and do a cool lick on a bass, the camera is on that little lick, and it's been really fun. It's challenging. It's challenging with synchronizing everything to get it to all be, matched up with the sound. Because typically after recording it, you don't always play it right the first time, and so then I have to go in and edit and stuff. I don't want to have reels and reels of footage that I've got to figure out. So I try to use just that one take for everything. It's been fun. Another big piece of news for us is that we have a new pastor finally at our church. And what an amazing guy. His name's Craig Peters, and he has such a heart for God, and a heart for evangelism, a heart for authenticity, for people being, using their gifts in community. We've had a bit of a hard run of it for a little while with pastors, and it's nice to have somebody who is so committed and a team player. So that's really exciting.
Hey there.
Hey, how's it going, Ephraim?
It's going alright.
How's Rocky?
He's alright.
Hi, Rocky. Nice day today, eh?
It's
Nice.
a lot nicer than the past 3 days.
That's for
4
sure.
days.
Or longer, all the rain we've had.
I know. What happened to the tree here?
Somebody else. People have been breaking branches off it, I think. Joanne cut some branches off that she thought were dead, and then
And then others broke off.
yeah, I think it's just time to remove it. Put a new tree in there. See you later, buddy.
Yeah, have a good rest. Oh, my mom said she would be willing to sell the woods.
Yeah, I've talked to her on text.
Okay, perfect. I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm going to come over and take a look at it. I don't even really know if I need it, but
We don't know what we're doing with it.
yeah. If I don't take it, you might be able to return it.
Maybe.
Where'd you get it at Truesdale's?
No, it was out in Kingston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it might be too weathered. It's
Yeah.
been there for a couple of days.
Yeah.
A couple of months.
True. See you later. This is a really nice smoking pipe. I'm glad I kept this pipe. It's not the prettiest pipe I've ever made. It was actually in my discard pile. And I thought I'd go through my newly acquired box of ebonite stems, pre-made stems, and see if any of them fit it. And one did. And I thought, well, that's easy. And it was kind of rough looking, and so I thought I'll just rusticate it. I'm quite happy with how it came out, eh? It's pretty. It's kind of a big change in the, I don't know if I like that step up between the ring and the stem. But it's comfortable in the hand. Doesn't get hot when you're smoking it. Easy draw. A little heavy. Not too bad. Well, maybe I'll sign off. I'm sure I've wasted enough of your time as it is. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Here we are at the end. Do something interesting this weekend. I think I'm going to go swimming. Anyway, goodbye. Talk to you later.